Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion of the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you can find a description of the day's astrology as I've spelled it out here. Here I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I will play another card that, in the context of the day's astrology, may just give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Three of Pentacles. And it's here because it corresponds in astrology with the second 10 days or the second decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, and Pentacles in Tarot represent earth element symbolism, and earth element symbolism is very much about the physical resources we possess and what we're willing to do with them to create a sense of security, safety, stability, and abundance in our lives. So we come to the Three of Pentacles, and we see a card that's very much just about working with other people, doing teamwork, collaboration, building things together with people, okay? This really represents people of different skill sets and even like lifestyles, maybe even sort of people of different beliefs coming together around a greater cause to build something that benefits more than just one person, right? So teamwork gives us swift progress. It also, puts us a little bit at ease in that we're not 100% responsible for making sure something gets done. We're just 100% responsible for making sure our part gets done, right? So, things happen more quickly. We don't have to be the genius or the expert about everything. We just have to be the genius or the expert about the one thing that we're really good at. And that's one of the things I really like about in teamwork. So yes, this is a sign of collaboration. It says that we can build structures for safety and security that benefit everybody when we work together. And with all of that said, oh, look at that. We got the Ace of Swords. Okay, so swords in Tarot. I'm so not used to getting this card. The swords in Tarot represent the intellect. It's about what we do with our thoughts, words, and actions, the plans that we make, the things that we say, understanding that when we wield the sword of truth, we can do that either to help and heal, or we can do it to cause harm, right? So we have to be very judicious about the way we wield our swords so that we don't cause harm. Because the intention, ideally is to help or to help us make progress, right? So the Ace of Swords is it's sort of a beginning, and it's sort of an embodiment of sword element, sword, which is air element symbolism. That's that rational mind, that planning, and that thought process. And this is a sign of beginnings, and that's appropriate because we are at the beginning of the year. We're just today having our first full moon of the year and our first of the 3 full moons in the winter season. But what it signifies is that whatever trajectory we've set on ourselves on, whatever plans we're making, because this is very much the plan making time of the year, whatever it is that whatever it is that we're initiating as far as work, as far as desiring to reach goals that are tangible and that benefit our safety and security and support in the world, it really indicates that victory is ours to have, especially if we, if we go into this intelligently, if we use our rational mind, if we tell the truth, if we're honest with ourselves and others, and if we really just think and plan well, if we use our heads, victory can be ours, whatever it is that we've set out to do. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't work to do, right? Those mountains in the distance really indicate, something that we're going to have to climb, something that we're going to have to make an effort to get across. Okay, so keep that in mind. Always there is this manna of intellect sort of coming in. We don't always know from whence our best ideas and thought processes originate, that just sort of come to us sometimes. And those are the ones to really pay attention to, those things that feel like, pardon me, those things that feel like intuition or instinct, but that give us good ideas, that give us that sort of enlighten our path forward. Okay, so the other thing that comes to mind is that there is there's a smart way to cross a mountain range, and there's a not as smart way, right? To cross a mountain range. You can just set a trajectory for like, oh well, I'm looking at this peak, so I'm just going to climb over this peak, right? Or I'm just going to try to climb straight over this mountain range from where I am. I'm just going to keep going in that direction until I get there. But often when it comes to mountains, you don't just go straight up one side of the mountain and then straight down the other, right? There's a path to follow. There are low-lying points that help us gain elevation as we rise. So we have to, consider the mountain passes and the places where it's easier to get up the mountain than just going, take a trajectory straight up. Okay, so again, the intellect comes into play, looking ahead, paying attention to what the challenges are that are on our plate, and also being assured that we can get there. Okay, this is really an assurance of victory in whatever it is that we set out to do. So with a little self-confidence and a little, being smart, being on top of our planning game, our intellectual game, our thought processes, planning ahead, and again, being honest with ourselves and others about the situation that we're in and what it is that we're trying to do. All of that says that we can get to the place that we're trying to get to. So where do we see the Ace of Swords here? So swords naturally for me relates to Mercury. Mercury is currently retrograde and also conjunct to the sun. They will be fully conjunct tomorrow, I believe. So this is an amplification of those Mercury retrograde sort of vibrations. And Mercury, retrograde, it sort of represents a slowdown in terms of our ability to plan, our ability to communicate. Often, just the way we generally go about doing things during the day, we can meet sort of slowdowns and hang-ups. We can get stopped very easily. We can find it hard to express ourselves, or what I notice a lot with Mercury retrograde is a tendency to think I'm being very clear in my communications with others. I'm saying exactly what I mean, what I feel, what I want from a situation, but I'm not collaborating well because I'm not listening, right? Okay, so part of Mercury being in retrograde comes with a reminder to listen more and to plan more and to think ahead more rather than just acting in the moment based on what we would normally do or what usually works for us. Okay, and that's very much amplified in the outer life, in the work, social, and civic part of our lives right now. We can really be encountering those slowdowns and those frustrations. And Sun and Mercury are in opposition to the moon right now, so this is our rational mind, as flummoxed as we might be at this time of year, at this time of the month right now with the sun conjunct to Mercury, and at this time of year, this is our rational mind that is really on practical matters of how we move forward, how we initiate the plans and the work that will bring us closer to our sense of stability and support in our life. And it's all the way across the sky. Like here we are in the middle. Okay, so if we look at these, we can't see this, right? And if we look over here, we can't see this. It's hard to reconcile these rational processes and the outer life stuff that's happening with what's happening in our bodies, in our hearts, and in our homes, okay? And so, all the way across the sky like that just means we can't focus on both at the same time, but we can use these energies. And, the guidance really is to use these energies in a practical way, but also from the emotional, the emotional and body secure moon and Cancer space, right? So it's a good time to use your Mercury planning, communicating capacities to really listen to somebody, to catch up with somebody that you care about, have a nice phone call, you know, with your aunt or your mom or your brother or your sister or your best friend, somebody that you care about, okay? And just it's a good time also to lay on them any sort of conflicts or problems that you're experiencing, because their guidance might be valuable to you at this time, okay? And taken together with the Three of Pentacles. I mean, this just says, yeah, if you're collaborating, especially if you're making plans with other people, especially if those plans are not just about building something for your own security, but building something Saturn and Aquarius that benefits the group, the community, or the collective. Whatever it is that you've begun, you will have you can and you will have progress, and you can and will have victory as far as that is concerned. But it's going to take communication. It's going to take using your brain, okay? It's going to take a little foresight, looking ahead, and it's going to take the work that you know how to do, okay? But that's a really positive sign. It's not saying that, like if this were a Five of Cups, it would be like, okay, you're collaborating, but this might end in grief. You might have a loss, right? This is the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords says, yes, move ahead, go for it. Understand that there will be some labor and there will be some difficulty, but as long as you're in this collaboration and you're communicating to the best of your ability, which includes listening well, you will have success. And so I wish you all success in whatever it is that you are getting started with this first full moon of the year in Capricorn, or the sun is in Capricorn, so the moon is naturally in Cancer, but this first full moon of the year, where we are initiating the plans that will set us on track for the rest of the year. I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.